Critics are calling this one of the best animated films of the decade and possibly the best film DreamWorks have ever done.
Ooh.
I'm of course talking about The Wild Robot. It was released in the UK on Friday the 18th of October, was made with a budget of $70 million and has already grossed over $158 million globally.
God damn.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Mate Night, where we are reviewing films until someone invites us to the Cannes Film Festival. My name is Jamie and as always I'm joined by my esteemed colleague Fred.
Thank you very much for the intro, Jumbo.
This episode will be split into three parts. Firstly, we're going to non-spoiler review this film and decide if the hype is justified. Secondly, we've got a this or that format competition for the best DreamWorks film. Finally, we've got a DreamWorks Royal Rumble.
I cannot wait. We have some exciting segments in place today.
It's going to be a good one. So, just quickly kick us off. How are you feeling today, Freddie? On this fine morning?
I'm feeling pretty rosy today. Rosy on a Saturday morning. The day is ahead of us. We've watched a film last night. And to be honest, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it.
It's the first time we've done one or two morning ones in the past, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had an overnight slumber party. And then we rolled straight into a recording session.
With the hot chocolates.
Ooh.
Okay, so welcome back to the Road to Cannes, where we are reviewing films until someone invites us to the Cannes Film Festival. Today we're reviewing The Wild Robot, which has a score of 8.4 on IMDb. What we're going to do is finish today's review by acquiring the correct score for this film from the patented Mate Night machine to determine if it deserves the hype. Fred, what is The Wild Robot?
I'm glad you asked, Shambo. The Wild Robot. This film follows Roz, played by Lupita Nyong'o, a service robot who is shipwrecked on an uninhabited island, who must then adapt to her surroundings, build relationships with the local wildlife, and become, primarily this is the main point of the film, the adoptive mother of an orphaned goose, Brightbill.
I managed to avoid that as well in the preparation. I didn't know that, like, before the film, I didn't see really in the trailers too much.
So for anyone, any new listeners, any listeners may not know that our typical approach is you will research a bit more about the film ahead of time, and I will go in stone cold sober. Mm-hmm. So this time, different approach for you. Any reason?
No, not actually. I did see one or two of the trailers. I have found a couple of films recently that have been spoiled by trailers. So
yeah, it's the way they go about it these days. Like, you just can't be too careful because they have to release like 3 trailers. Mm-hmm. If it's a hyped up film, like, you know, the Marvel films over the last 5 years, or sorry, maybe a bit longer now, they have such a collective interest. And you have people who build their careers in the YouTube space, for instance, on scraping through every minutiae and little detail within the trailers, that it's almost impossible not to have things spoiled. And in the age of cameras, right, as well, like, it's very hard to keep things under wraps.
Yes.
So I have gone for the approach of, I'm just not you're going to tell me the title and then I'll go and see it.
Yep.
But yeah, there are pros and cons, right?
Yeah. I was also aware that this film was doing incredibly well. I knew that critics were generally saying this is a very favourable film, so that's
for sure. That's all you told me. You said like some people have suggested it's the best DreamWorks.
They've said some pretty crazy things. Well, okay, out of 10, I'm going to 3-2-1 you, and you're going to tell me how much you enjoyed this film. Not the Mate Night score.
For sure.
How much you enjoy this film? 3, 2, 1.
7.4.
Okay, 8.0 for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good, wasn't it?
It was a very good film.
It was pretty good. And you know what? Contrasting our last film that we watched at cinema, which was another kids' film, has definitely put it more favourably for me. Transformers 1.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Which I wasn't as keen on.
Yeah, definitely.
This actually marketed to younger kids. I believe Transformers 1 was a PG. This is a U.
Yeah.
And I could tell it was a slightly younger feel. Okay. And yet still was leaps and bounds better for me than Transformers 1.
It is leaps and bounds better, but I would also say that they are more universal. I think it might have been aimed maybe specifically at younger than Transformers 1, but there's something about those really high budget animated DreamWorks Disney films where you can kind of enjoy them at any age a little bit. Like a lot of this kind of reminded me of Nemo a little bit, Finding Nemo, where it was just a very emotional, well-made animated story. Do you know what I mean? And it just kind of, it can appeal to most people generally, as long as you're into that kind of film.
Yeah, for sure. We had this with The Iron Giant, right? Where you can appreciate this as a good telling of a type of film that we can all enjoy. And we'll all have our favorites, and we'll all have ones that speak to us more, nostalgia influenced or not. And I definitely had a lot of respect for that as an entity when I thought of my score. And I really did enjoy it. Yeah. It's not one where I'm thinking, this is changing my life. This is a real chapter within my filmic lore.
Completely agree.
However, Rachel, for instance, oh my...
really big fan.
Loved it.
Yeah.
That's like within the first 3 minutes, by the time the credits had finished rolling, not the credits finished rolling, by the time the title had come up, The Wild Robot, she had gone to be, this is the best one we've watched together. she said, this is the best film I've watched at the cinema.
Nice. To be fair, I mean, I actually think if you're the right age specifically, this could be a film that is a chapter in your life. I'm really sure if I was a kid watching that could be a film that I remembered for a very long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't need to... Actually, I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
You've given your score, right? 8.0.
8.0.
So 8 is great.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great film.
Great film.
Yeah. I think the thing that really, if we're comparing it against DreamWorks films, their animated films can be really funny. And it wasn't that funny, which is fine, because actually I think what it was trying to do was more be emotional and powerful. And I think it really did an amazing job of that. But, you know, so it's a great film and I really enjoyed it. Could it be higher? Yes, maybe, if it was just like had a better place comic relief throughout it.
I don't think it was quite up with other DreamWorks films in terms of the comic relief character.
Yeah.
I'd agree. However, it was still funny.
Yeah, it did a good job of the bits that it did. Yeah, 100%. But it certainly didn't focus on it, did it?
It wasn't quite Shrek or Kung Fu Panda for like comedy in a DreamWorks film. However, there were funny moments, like initial interactions between like the main trio as they form in the early stages of the film. Probably where most of the humor is derived from. Yeah. There's also Matt Berry's character is quite funny, the beaver.
Yep.
But generally speaking, it's not the funniest of the DreamWorks films. However, you mentioned the emotional points. One of the most emotional, I'd say.
It really reminded me of Finding Nemo. It really did.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of the balance of, this is a super emotional story about parent and child who, with little bits of humor dotted throughout, but really the thing that you're going to leave with is like, someone in your family's probably cried watching this film. Yeah. That's what The Wild Robot is. But, and this is something which we have to get to in the review, absolutely jaw-droppingly beautiful. Like a stunning movie to watch. I just thought it was a work of art from start to finish.
Yeah, very, very good visually. Now, the one thing that I actually slightly, I wouldn't mark it down on, but for me, there were similarities between WALL-E. It was almost like WALL-E, but a more maternal version.
Yeah.
And it's not just a retreading in any sense, but you've got a robot character who's a bit out of place.
Yeah, 100%.
With tasks and finding more stuff about themselves and about the world around them. And I would say that it does compare slightly unfavorably just in, not visuals. Like WALL-E is unbelievable to look at, like one of the most beautiful animated films of all time. So whilst this is very, I said this is beautiful, I'm comparing it to like the top.
Yeah, I thought this was more, I don't know if it's necessarily better in terms of visuals, but I'd certainly say for me it was more beautiful than WALL-E. Okay. Because I mean the Chris Sanders described his approach to The Wild Robot as a Monet painting in a Miyazaki forest. So it's like that weird kind of painting-y style that it had throughout it. It was intentional. Now that's not as groundbreaking as, say, WALL-E might have been visually, because I'm assuming it probably wasn't quite as hard to pull off. But especially in terms of the colors, this was just it. I mean, Roger Ebert said it was, you could enjoy this film without sound. Like, it is literally just a work of art from start to finish.
Roger Ebert is dead.
RogerEbert.com then.
Oh, right.
Right, yeah. I didn't realize he was dead.
Yeah.
I knew he was pretty old, but...
No, he died, I don't know when, maybe like 2015 or
Who
something
the hell is writing under his name?
Well, he's like the GOAT movie
Siskel
critique of
and
all
Ebert,
time.
wasn't it?
Yeah, so it probably is just his estate.
But yeah, I mean, I think that, look, you could say maybe it's not as good as Wall-E, maybe, but what you have to... Everyone will agree. This is, if you're looking for a beautiful movie, this is one of them. This is a stunning movie to watch. And yeah, I absolutely adored it for that.
And we mentioned the messaging. So impactful, well constructed. All of these kids' films, we brought it up before. They go into it and think, what are we trying to talk about? What do we want to portray? And then that is going to be the basis of some interesting and diverse world that we're going to create. And in this case, the main themes were parenting as well as belonging, I'd say. Any others in particular?
No, I would totally agree. Those two specifically.
Yeah, and they're favourites. They're good.
Well, it's such good marketing, that, isn't it? Because who do you think is going to watch these films? It's going to be a kid and its parent. And so, like, if you're listening and you're a mother, I would recommend this film.
For sure.
Because it, like, if anything, it probably focuses more on the parent. I was expecting it to be all about not fitting in. And by the end of it, it ended up, for me at least, striking me as more of a film about motherhood than about anything else.
Yeah, it's a great point. Like, part of my review, part of my thoughts around this film were, who is this best suited to? And I wanted to ask, should you take your kid to it? Should you generally watch it? When I say should you watch it, who are we targeting here? And mothers, if you're thinking about watching a kid's film with your kids, it will be for you as well. It really is quite targeted to mothers.
Go to the cinema to watch it with your kid, this would be a good one. And you know what? If you're a dad who's close to your kid, it'll have the same message to you as well. Because it's more about parenthood, really. It's just the protagonist effectively takes a maternal position. But yeah, if you're thinking about whether you should watch a film with your kid, go watch The Wild Robot in the cinema. I would recommend it, definitely.
So tying on to that then, we've got, should kids watch it? I think it's more universal than Transformers 1, which I would generally recommend to quite a lot of kids. Certainly younger kids who like action. This, though, I'd say... Send any kid. send whoever you want. Throw them at this one. Great kids film. And it's got a lot for the parents as well. Something that Transformers 1, I wouldn't say had as much for.
Well, this is, again, the Finding Nemo parallel. Again, it's parent and child relationship. It's the exact same format, basically. But it's just with modern graphics and perhaps a slightly different route for how it achieves the exact same themes, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And one more question from me then. You watched Inside Out 2?
Yes.
How does this compare?
I would actually put them pretty much on the same level. Inside Out 2 probably had a more exciting narrative. Inside Out 2 was beautiful, but I really was incredibly impressed by how beautiful The Wild Robot was. I just thought colors-wise, I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. So, but I would say Inside Out 2 had a more exciting and interesting narrative, whereas this was still very, very good. But yeah, I would say it was more going along emotional themes for this one. Inside Out 2 they're both quite similar, really.
Yeah.
You've got the difference in animation. You've got Inside Out 2 with its very unique gimmick.
Oh yeah.
And it creates a very interesting and exciting narrative. They've both got a similar amount of humor. They've both got great themes, but it's probably just a little bit more exciting, I'd say.
Yeah, so Wild Robot's more exciting.
Sorry. Inside Out 2 is a little bit more exciting than The Wild Robot. Yeah.
One thing, it's clear to me from your descriptions of both as well, is that like the themes of both are very interesting and approachable, but Inside Out 2 takes a very nuanced approach to what they're looking at. so not just the mental health aspect, but how they are portraying this is very creative. And Wild Robot, whilst it has undoubtedly creative elements, a lot of the stuff that they are approaching is covered ground.
Well, Iron
maybe
Giant,
more so.
Wall-E.
Yeah, then Inside Out 2 is very unique.
Yeah. But I would say in both cases, what I've been really impressed by is I actually think that Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot have better executed themes than most films that are released at the minute. Like, I just think that I guess I went into it with the impression that they would try and spoon feed me some not very nuanced understanding of the world thematically in Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot. And actually what I came out with was, wow, that's actually a really nice way of putting X, Y, and Z. And that's such an interesting outlook on the world. And I just find that these kids' films thematically do a better job than, like, we came out from Joker the other day, and you come out and you're like, what the hell was going on in that?
Yeah.
Like, thematically.
What was the purpose?
And you come out of these and it's just so focused. It's just, it knows what it's doing, and it does, and it has very well thought out, very nuanced understandings of the world that I'm always very impressed by.
So, should you watch it? Send your kids to it, yes. If you're a mother, great film. Anyone who wouldn't be asked for it, you think? Yeah,
I think if you're somebody who wouldn't go on Disney Plus and stick on one of the kind of big animated films, don't bother watching this, because it's another one of those.
Sure.
It's definitely not the best film DreamWorks have done, okay? Without a doubt. It's another one of those, one of their really good ones.
Well, we'll see, as you know, later. We're doing the DreamWorks bracket, this or that. I will be deciding whether it is the best DreamWorks film of all time.
We're going to dip out for the May Night Machine.
Ooh, it's coming up, is it?
This film's got 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
So we're going to, as custodians of the May Night Machine.
That's us.
We're hoping
custodians.
We're going to find out what the actual correct score is.
I can't wait to see what the real score is. Not this phony IMDb score.
Phony IMDb one. So
we're probably not going to kick any foxes this time out of solidarity.
Well, certainly not for this film. That would be very inappropriate.
No.
Pedro Pascal would be upset.
Oh, by the way, Pedro Pascal is the fox. No idea.
I didn't know
going into it. I could not tell at all that. I was like, I wonder who that is.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal. No clue.
Matt Berry, you could hear him. Matt
Berry, I like 100%. Okay, Make Night Machining.
If you're still in the room, hello, long form listeners.
Hello, Rachel.
Our favourites. But don't tell anyone.
Don't tell no one.
Don't tell the YouTubers. As always, we'll be calculating the score by taking the average across 9 different categories. The first 2 have actually already been given in secret. It was the gut reaction scores, which would be 7.4 for Fred and 8.0 for me.
Some
the
good
next score that we are going to take is plot. So you get started whilst I...
So, well executed. Theme's great. No real missed beats.
Completely agree.
Only thing I can think of that will drop it down slightly is general uniqueness. So what's it bringing to the table? And when we talk about animated films, you have the real potential to go out there. You have some that are just totally unexpected. We mentioned it in our talk just then. This does tread some of the ground of other films of the past.
I think that is the best assessment of the plot. You could have said, like, I literally beat for beat. That's exactly what I think. Yeah.
So what does
Inside
that
Out 2 has set the standard of you can do what you. Toy Story is another one. Like, you can do what you want, and Wall-E, Iron Giant, and I'm sure I'm missing others. It's been done. The kind of out of place robot.
Yeah,
but insanely well crafted. Like, it was made by real professional industry masters. Like, they know what they're doing.
We've spoken about the IMDb score being very high here, and I would argue that is largely because of the thematic exploration rather than bringing new stuff to the table.
Yeah.
It's just great themes, very well executed.
They know
lot
how
of
to
fun.
tell a story well. You know what I mean? They don't get confused there. They just set out to tell a good story, and they tell a good story. It's sounding like an 8 to me.
I'm thinking 8. Let's bash in.
Character.
Okay. Who we got then?
So we got the main trio. So that would be... So if you are worried about spoilers, we will try our best still to completely avoid spoilers. But
I think it's tough, though, in this section, isn't
we'll
it?
just try not to say like what happens in the end. But
Okay.
if you're really, really worried about it, then maybe just dip out. So you got your main trio.
Roz, Fink, Brightbill.
Yep.
Okay.
Then you've got any other main characters.
No main, but we've got long necks, pretty important.
Yeah.
Matt Berry's beaver.
Yeah.
The bear. Oh, the what are they? Possums.
Oh, with the
They're
mother.
kind of-
She was
yeah.
quite useful for the plot to move forward.
Nice character as well.
Yeah.
And also gave a secondary maternal figure. So it wasn't just Roz. I think it was important that they balanced that with
She was
another figure
necessary.
that was representing motherhood. So yeah, they were good. I think that the trio are pretty solid.
I think, like the plot, solid is a good word for a lot of this stuff. It wasn't groundbreaking character-wise.
No, even down to like Roz you felt like she was familiar.
I felt like pretty
the
much
Iron
every
Giant.
character. I feel like pretty much every character probably could have been just taken from a different film and put in this. Like there wasn't really anything new at all about it.
Okay, so good, but a bit formulaic.
Yeah.
7.
What about character depth, real quick? Is
Okay, well,
any assessment on that?
for sure, Roz's character,
Yeah.
like, not only... Okay, I'm going to try and navigate around spoilers here. They gave her depth, even though she's a supposedly surface-level character. Supposed to be a robot. They gave her depth, but they did a great job of explaining why and how that depth had been realized. And without spoiling it too much, it's to do with her task-based nature. And they were able to reconfigure depth based on this need to complete tasks. And that was really interesting.
Totally agree. I think they did a good job of her character depth. It felt like a good part of the plot was exploring her as a person in a mystery. Outside of her, was there really any? Because even the Fox, even Pedro Pascal, you don't really know by the end of the film really like that much about. Like obviously we know that he's a bit shunned by society.
His motivations, they try and make it clear what his motivations are. And then Bright Bill as well is the kind of stereotypical ugly duckling story.
Character-wise, he was very just like
Kind of
you could write him on a poster.
Drive the plot forward. Long neck, kind of interesting, but not really a massive part of the film.
I'm drawing a blank on Long Neck.
Bill Nye's character,
Right.
the goose.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so a very important part of the story without going
Very
into spoilers.
likeable character.
Very likeable. Okay.
7
Just
sounds
check
fair.
Yeah. 7, hit me.
Dialogue.
Good.
Yeah, that was where I was just about to say 7. Do we have anything to comment on?
Okay. I think it's not mixed, is it? It's across the board good.
Absolutely.
Anything that elevates it. Some funny sequences without... I'm just trying to do it without like...
Yeah, let's not spoil it.
Specifically spoiling any bit. But there are parts where funny, well-delivered lines and humorous scenes do come across well. They just don't go for it as much as other DreamWorks films. But they do land when they try them.
Definitely agree. I don't think... I think that this is very consistent, solid, well-made dialogue that doesn't end up great, but it would be an insult to give it 6, and so it lands very comfortably on 7.
Show me some 7s though, and show me some 8s, because I am thinking back to some of the scenes, and there are some particular moments where I really liked the dialogue they used in it.
Dune Part. This is dialogue 7 out of 10. Dune Part 2, Apocalypse Now, Psycho, Chinatown, The Thing, Alien, Inside Out 2, Challengers Casino, 12th Fail, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, it's a 7. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think 7 seems about right, doesn't it? Performance.
Right. Difficult with animation.
Yeah, you've basically just got the voice acting, haven't you? If you didn't know it's Pedro Pascal, then there's got to be a little bit something said for him there.
Bit of nuance there, yeah.
I can't really comment that confidently on this, but I know that generally people are saying that Lupita Nyong'o did a really good job of her voice acting in it.
Yeah, I'd say. But what, is it a great performance?
How the hell do you get a great?
That's what's tough to say. All right, you know what? I reckon give it an 8.
Oh wow! Okay. Visuals.
Maybe give it a 7 actually. Because visuals is going to be really high. 7. All right, visuals. Yeah,
I'm gonna have a look at what our top sort of visuals are. So we've only ever had 3 10s on visuals. I bet June is going to be one. June Part 2, 2001: Space Odyssey, Citizen Kane. Then
kind of easier visuals to work out what the really high scores are, because you can tell when you're watching groundbreaking visuals.
Yeah,
I mean, like once in a couple of years films. That's where my head's at with 10s.
Yeah,
for me, of course, this is at least great. Mm-hmm. And you would be in the camp of 9, I guess?
Easily a 9 for me.
I'm happy to go in 9.
I think...
Because you're quite confident on this.
Well, the reason that I think it's 9 is because not only is it exceptionally well landed in terms of just how beautiful it was, there was real adventure in the way that they went about it, and they combined 2 completely different styles and put them together. They almost went, like say, for those painting style with a lot of the forest, and then with the kind of modern
sort of style.
Exactly. And then with the CG stuff with the robot, that was like when it zoomed in a little closer on her, it was just incredible how detailed the texture of the robot was, and the bits that they actually did CG animate properly. And so you've got real adventure visually, exceptionally well executed in both directions, combining something. And it's just like, it's not often you get a film that goes adventurous and lands it really, really well. So that's why I would say it deserves a 9 for me.
Go on then, whack it in.
Sound. We didn't comment on sound actually.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there were moments where the music was playing and it almost made me cry. It was.
I didn't ask. So you didn't cry on this one?
Might have done.
You did.
I did.
All right. Surprise. At the end of it,
am I pathetic?
You do cry a lot, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Only in films.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. This was my conversation with Rachel at the end of that. How many times did you cry? Not that many, just 3.
Yeah, I think I cried twice.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah,
so I'm tougher than your girlfriend. Get in.
She was pissed though.
I feel. Oh yeah, okay, fair. All right, sound.
Okay, so sound to heighten emotion.
I thought that is it a score? I guess it's not a soundtrack, is it? I thought the score was just fucking amazing. I thought it was so beautiful to listen to. Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't have any major thoughts on the score, so shall we just go 8?
Yeah,
because you know what, this film was it's bloody good, wasn't it?
It's a very good movie. I feel like Enjoyment is probably the score that's gonna that likely could have ended up the weakest. You know what I mean? Because it's very well crafted.
It's a pretty sweet, nice, well-made film. It
is. Impact. So 70 million budget, 150 million worldwide, approximately.
So unfortunately, we can't go all out and be. How can I describe this? We can't be too predictive with this.
Yeah.
Because it's very early days.
It's been out 3 weeks in US.
Yeah, and it's done well.
Critics really like it. It's done pretty well on.
It's not blown anything out the water.
Yeah.
But it's done well, and critically for DreamWorks, it seems to be quite a return to form. So here's how I look at Impact. 10 out of 10 are films of the last few years.
Yes.
9 out of 10
film of
the year. 8 out of 10.
I reckon you could maybe have maybe some years you could have 2 9s. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. I think
occasionally, if there's a year that deserves it,
that's fine, yeah. But that's how I approach it.
So it's not that.
So I'm thinking 7, and 7 with the impact category is a decent score. There's nothing wrong with that.
My head's at.
Particularly because we'll watch modern films, which no one will see. So,
trap.
Yeah. So I'm saying 7 or 8.
I think 7.
I think for now we go 7.
I think for now it's a 7.
Reserve the right to reassess. Okay. Well, we don't actually, because it's the Mate Night form, and Mate Night's never wrong.
Oh my God, we're back in. What the
Jesus.
fucking... I told you not to kick a fox this time.
No. Too many slain foxes.
Right, well, the good news is we have a score.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what it is?
I'd love to know. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm excited.
Okay.
As a curator of the Mate Night machine.
A custodian.
Custodian, that's what I meant to say.
8.4 out of 10 is what it's got on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
We've put it through the Mate Night machine to determine if 8.4 is fair. Now, they often come out with a higher score when they first released than perhaps...
Yeah. I don't think it'll be 8.4
on.
in 5 years, but it's going to end up on a pretty decent numero.
The correct score for the Wild Robot, given by the patented Mate Night formula, 7.60 out of 10.
Ooh, very good.
I thought it was going to be higher than that.
Yeah, but very solid, 7.60 on a Mate Night score.
Very well made, right? Incredibly well made. Nothing scored terribly.
No.
I mean, nothing did
of the
terribly.
one number.
Nothing did terribly. Incredible visuals, incredible sound. Probably not going to change cinema forever. Not the most creative plot in the world, but very well done film.
You mentioned, I think, the main drawback from this being comfortably in the 8s is the originality.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Which does by no means is a huge detractor. Not every film is the most original film of all time. However, with kids' films in particular, for them to really stand the test of time, they need to have some level of originality.
I mean, we talked about, there's so many of them. Inside Out, we talked about. Toy Story talked about. Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Scaring for a metric, a KPI metric and things like that. You can get so creative. So to choose to do another robot who's out of place seems like, could you maybe have thought a little bit longer about something to just set it aside?
Yeah, I wouldn't detract too much from it. Like, at the end of the day, we said this. It's a great film. It's a really enjoyable film. Not a great film.
Not a great film.
Because that 8 is great. However...
Very good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing a formula that works. And that's what they've done. And it's the only major complaint that we can make is that if you wanted this to be more memorable within the pantheon of great animated films of the 21st century, say, the ones that stand the test of time really have an element of differentiation.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for listening. This has been The
very
Road to Cannes, where we are reviewing films until someone invites us to the Cannes
Probably
Film
not the
Festival.
creators of Wild Robots after that glowing endorsement.
So if you enjoyed this, we'll be posting 3 days a week on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, link below, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you later.
Okay, it's time for this or that format. What is the greatest DreamWorks film? Fred, what's the better DreamWorks film? Shrek or Kung Fu Panda 1?
Jesus Christ, that is mad that you've gone for 2 of the best.
And you got 30 seconds per round.
Are we going timer? You keeping an eye?
Starting now, go.
Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
I bloody love Kung Fu Panda.
Why does that beat Shrek? Shrek is an absolute belter.
Shrek is a belter. If you look back, I'll say the animation on Shrek is a bit aged. But still, this is a tiny little gripe. Shrek is mega, right? One thing with Shrek is it does have a lot of dated references. So it's almost a time capsule. If you look back on it and you rewatch, like there's Matrix references in there. There's things that are very much of that late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
Give Shrek 1 a rewatch. You might think about it. Kung Fu Panda, I think, is more timeless and... I love Kung Fu Panda.
You love Kung Fu. I didn't realise. Okay.
Kung Fu Panda.
Maybe we'll have to do an episode. Kung Fu Panda or How to Train Your Dragon?
Kung Fu Panda.
Any comments on How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah, I watched this a bit late in the day, like not literally, but I was a bit older and had heard, of course, that this is one of the great DreamWorks films that I hadn't got a chance to watch. One minor gripe, and of course it is a great film, is I did find that the main character was a bit annoying. Yeah,
he was a bit weedy and pathetic.
I think characters in Kung Fu Panda, this will be a theme that I'll talk about across the board. The characters in Kung Fu Panda are mint. Like, every one of them is quality.
Do you know what? You've solved me, actually. I'm in, yeah.
This is going to be a bit of a Kung Fu Panda loving. All right, carry on.
Kung Fu Panda or The Road to El Dorado?
Ooh, very underrated DreamWorks film, Road to El Dorado. Not one that I had watched when it came out. Again, a bit later to the day. However, a real fun romp, really nice setting, interesting Dutagonist? No, I didn't mean to say that.
Dutagonist it is. Well, tritagonist is the...
I was more thinking J-E-W-tagonist doesn't sound good.
No, I don't think that's the correct term.
So, yeah, really good. Cool setting. Lovely animation and vibe. Elton John soundtrack. Ooh. Still, Kung Fu Panda. Unbelievable.
Excellent. Kung Fu Panda or The Wild Robot recently came out. We've just done an episode on it, so if you're interested, check that out.
I was thinking about this compared to the last DreamWorks film that I watched, which I know you have on here, Wild Robot, that is, and I am going to say that the other film is better than The Wild Robot. I'll wait till that film. Wild Robot, very good, really well made, great return to form for DreamWorks, only lacks a bit of originality. Kung Fu Panda still number one.
Excellent. Kung Fu Panda or Shrek 2?
Oh.
Oh, you prefer Shrek 2 to Shrek 1?
Yes. Okay. Shrek 2 is a belter.
Is it?
Absolute belter. It just elevates all the best parts of Shrek, adds in a bit of conflict. The Fiona angle is not actually of as much interest to me. No offense to Cameron Diaz, but I found that removing Shrek and Donkey from it and making it a boys' road trip where they're human. Well, Shrek's human, Donkey's a horse. Puss in Boots comes in.
He's a great character.
Puss in Boots. All of the characters they added. So the fairy godmother, Prince Charming,
totally hilarious.
The king are brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so right. The soundtrack. Oh, this is my hardest. I'm gonna go Shrek 2. Sorry, I kept thinking Shrek 2.
Shrek 2. Okay, Shrek 2. Cool. Shrek 2 or Kung Fu Panda 2?
Okay, Kung Fu Panda 2, very good. Not quite as good as Kung Fu Panda 1. Gary Oldman in it though, pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
They go for the old English villain trope. Always a smart move. However, I don't think Gary Oldman does quite as good a job as, I think it's Robert Sheehan. Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Anyway. Not quite as good as Tai Lung in Kung Fu Panda 1. Yeah. And it's not quite bringing as much to the table as, say, Shrek 2 versus Shrek 1. Like, there's a real additive effect with Shrek 2. So, still Shrek 2, and I would say Kung Fu Panda 1 above Kung Fu Panda 2.
It's so hard to do a sequel that's better than the first one. It's so forgivable when Kung Fu Panda 2 doesn't hit the magic of Kung Fu Panda 1, but when Shrek 2 does what it does.
Shrek 2 is unbelievable. You know what I rewatched the other day? The scene where the giant gingerbread man, well, it's Shrek storming the castle with Donkey on the white steed. I Need a Hero in the background. The giant gingerbread man sacrificed himself. Be good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's it. Puss in Boots comes in and like, today I repay my debt. Oh my god, that scene is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's funny you say that because I think I watched that yesterday for the first time in like years.
It's so good.
I heard something that reminded me of the song and I went on Spotify. You can't find the song on Spotify.
Oh, Bonnie Tyler's songs might not be on Spotify. So, sometimes Spotify doesn't have the rights to artists.
Right. And so
for instance,
I had to go on YouTube.
Neil Young with Joe Rogan. Remember he said he'd take off his...
Right.
If they kept playing Joe Rogan, he was going to take off his...
Really?
Discography, which I believe he did.
Right. Well, yeah. So I went and watched. I was like, I need this song. And to be fair, I wanted not just a song. I wanted the scene where put it in C minor.
Yeah. Jennifer Saunders, I believe, is the one singing in that. She does a great job.
Really?
And you know what? That scene, I rewatched it like you. It came up on my YouTube suggested a few years ago. And I was like, I didn't quite realize, I didn't quite put into perspective how unbelievable that scene is, and that whole film. I'm going to rewatch Shrek 2.
Shrek 2 or Puss in Boots?
Puss in Boots, all right, decent enough film, love story, interest. Puss himself is a great character. Shrek 2 better.
Excellent. Shrek 2 or 1917?
Oh, interesting throw in here, because 1917 is a film that we are looking at recently and not many people know.
Yep.
It is a DreamWorks film. And is it better than all of these beloved DreamWorks classics?
Well,
yes. No, it's not. No, like that.
Not better than those, but we are releasing content on that soon,
Yes.
so please check it out on the YouTube channel or Spotify.
Yes.
You can. Shrek 2 or Chicken Run?
Oof, an old classic, got that stop motion animation style made famous in the UK with your Wallace and Gromits, and is quite beloved in the UK, Chicken Run, isn't it?
It is.
It seems to be like a kid's classic over here. Now, I haven't watched it for quite some time, so I'm going to say Shrek 2, but it's definitely got a real firm place in the hearts of UK kids. So I'll be interested to see if that's translated. So if anyone listening from the US or from other regions has any opinions on Chicken Run, was it something that even made a dent anywhere other than over here? Because we do quite like it over here.
Quite UK, was it?
Well, it's like all the cast and characters are UK apart from Mel Gibson.
Yeah, okay.
And it's definitely got quite a UK feel with the animation style. So I'll be interested to see if it translated.
Excellent.
I know funnily enough, Wallace and Gromit is popular everywhere.
Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit's great.
It's quality, isn't it?
Shrek 2 or Puss in Boots 2?
Now, Puss in Boots 2, far superior to Puss in Boots 1.
Is it?
Quality. Came out very recently. That was the one where I was talking about, is it better than Wild Robot earlier? This is the last DreamWorks film I watched. Watched it in the cinema. It is really, really good.
Right.
They change up the animation style and make it a bit more anime based. So it's less kind of hand drawn, a bit more dynamic. And the villain is incredible. The villain in Puss in Boots 2 is Death. Literally is Death. And he is intimidating. The whole plot line is around Puss in Boots' 9 lives. And he's on his last life. And he just realizes, and then Death comes for him. And it's like him going on an adventure with Death chasing him.
That's so cool.
To take his last life, which Death isn't really allowed to do, but he's so annoyed at Puss in Boots flaunting all of his lives that he decides that he's going to take him down. And it is brilliant. Really worth a watch. Shrek 2, though.
Yeah, okay. Of the sequels.
Shrek 2, I think, Puss in Boots is born out of Shrek 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is
allowed.
It doesn't mean that makes it better by proxy or de facto better. Yeah. However,
you've got lots of Puss in Boots characters in Shrek 2.
People need to put some respect on Shrek 2's name, because that film slaps.
You know what, mate? You're so right. 100%. Shrek 2 or Madagascar?
Shrek 2. Yeah. Madagascar, we threw in there because it's another classic, right?
Some people love it,
yeah. Great cast, Madagascar. And I definitely remember it being one of those DVDs I had. So I just ran through it a lot of times back in the day. However, I'm not sure I ever really enjoyed it that much. I just had it.
I had literally the same experience growing up. My younger sister, I must have been, 8 and her 4, like very young. And it was the school holidays, and she made me watch it twice one morning. Right. And I was like, I wanted to watch it the first time. I watched it the second time. And then she wanted to watch it a third and started crying. And my parents were like, I don't know why this is stuck with me. My parents were like, go on, stop being unreasonable and watch it with her again.
The third time.
So I watched Madagascar the third time
which is very average. Even as a kid, you kind of think,
it's all right.
This is fine. You know what? I had a Madagascar game on It was, what was it? It was the Game Boy.
Oh, I didn't know
which
they
I
had
used to
one.
absolutely smash. It was the first ever games console I was allowed. And my godmother went on eBay. We didn't even know what eBay was, but my godmother like bid for it on eBay, like for my birthday. And I got it. And like the only game I had was Madagascar.
That's brilliant. It's a good game. Should I be checking it out?
It was shit. But yeah, I absolutely slammed it.
That's gold, that. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, we're going to do a Royal Rumble video.
Oh my God.
The characters from these are going to fight.
Some of the characters we've discussed today. And just to stress, if you haven't watched Shrek 2 in a while, it's really,
in case you hadn't noticed.
Shrek 2, you know what was wild is like, yesterday we spoke about this and I said, I'll hold fire what my thing is going to be. It was Kung Fu Panda in my mind.
Oh, so it did change. Yeah,
it did. Shrek 2 and Kung Fu Panda are my two standouts. And
yes.
Both quality. I think Shrek 2 just gives
I think it makes such a good case. The thing is with Shrek is the main characters, or like main trio or main couple of characters are incredible, and then every other character is also incredible.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like it's just they're all great.
I can't wait till we'll have to review it at some point. Do you reckon it's on the top 250?
It's gotta be.
It might not be, you know. Like
we're not allowed to look. We're not allowed to look. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening,
Thanks,
and we
guys.
will see you on the next one.
See you later.
On to our final segment for today, the DreamWorks Royal Rumble. These are the films that we're going to do. Shrek, Kung Fu Panda 1, How to Train Your Dragon, Road to El Dorado, Wild Robot, Shrek 2, Kung Fu Panda 2, Puss in Boots, 1917, Chicken Run, Puss in Boots 2, Madagascar. Who are the main contenders? Let's pick out some good ones. I was thinking the dragon from Shrek would probably do bits.
I reckon, yeah. Do we do one per franchise, one per film?
Let's pick the most powerful from each film.
Well, the most powerful, because we got to have Shrek, right? And the dragon would mop.
Yeah, okay. Let's say then one character from each film. Let's do it. Why not? Well, we got
one
Shrek 2
from each
so
film. Well, I was thinking Puss. Oh no, Puss in Boots could be in Puss in Boots. Okay.
But
the dragon's like barely in Shrek 2.
Okay, so maybe you pick Shrek from Shrek 2.
Handsome Shrek.
Shrek
just wipes out Handsome Shrek immediately. Right,
we can put them to it.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we just determine... Well, you've also got Fairy Godmother. Man, let's determine the rules for the Royal Rumble. Because here's how I'm thinking. We've got standard Royal Rumble rules would be 2 people start and every minute or so they bring someone out. I think that's too complicated in this sense.
Yeah.
What we're more thinking about here is a mate night melee.
Okay.
But it's in a Royal Rumble ring.
Yeah.
So everything else, it's like the end of a Royal Rumble where loads of people are in there. And the rules are you have to chuck someone above the top rope.
Yeah.
And then they have, if someone goes below the top rope, they only have, let's say 10 seconds. They have to get back in. They can't just goal hang. They can't wait on the end and then hop back in. We're going to be... Rules are pretty strict. You have to get back in.
Also, we're going to make it bowl-shaped.
Bowl-shaped?
Yeah, just a little. Just to make it a little harder.
Right. So, okay.
Let's make the ring into a bowl-shaped ring. So
I think we'll end up having some people will really benefit from that.
Yeah, I reckon the cat's going to struggle.
I reckon the cat will really struggle.
Because I'm thinking a metallic surface.
Roz will kill it, I think. Maybe go in her ball mode.
Roz from the Wild Robot.
Yeah.
What were her powers? For those interested, she could imitate other things. She could imitate other animals and run and things like that. She had a grappling hook. Her hand could turn into this drill thing that went through the ground pretty easy. But in the Royal Rumble, it's made of metal, so I don't think she's going to get through that. So there's no digging.
Okay, well let's get our contenders out. So,
Shrek, handsome Shrek. No dragon. We're going to remove dragon.
Yeah, because we've already got a dragon in there.
Puss in Boots.
Shrek, handsome Shrek. All right, so here's the thing.
Roz.
Yeah, Puss. Oh, so we've got...
Which chicken are we choosing from Chicken Run? Should we just put chicken? I don't even know any of their names.
I'm pretty sure the chicken is not going to win.
Well, give him a chance,
Chicken in Chicken Run.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to Kung Fu Panda yet.
Yeah, I think we've got to do Po, right?
But there's a second one. There's a second film in there.
Did we put the second one in there? Yeah, we did, didn't we?
We did.
Okay. All right. So
we could do the
we'll have
not Master Oogway, the other one.
Master Shifu.
Master Shifu.
Get
Shifu in there, man.
I reckon Shifu.
Shifu from the first one.
The thing is, if we're unhappy with the results of this one, we could do a totally separate on another day.
Yeah.
We could do a totally separate DreamWorks Royal Rumble with the same films and different characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I'm making the rules, and I'm going to put the chicken. There's going to be 50 of them.
Really?
Just to give him a chance.
50 chickens.
Yeah, we're going to have 50 chickens.
So Rocky is going to be the leader, you'd say. That's the main chicken. That's Mel Gibson's chicken.
Okay, Mel Gibson's chicken.
All right, so I've got 6 written down, but I'm actually struggling.
Shrek, Handsome Shrek, Puss in Boots, Roz, 50 Mel Gibson chickens.
Do I have a pen? If you're not using it. Yeah,
absolutely.
So we got Shrek, Handsome Shrek, Puss, Poe, Shifu, Rocky, plus 49 chickens.
Oh my God, you're beating me. Hang on. 50 Mel Gibson chickens, Poe, Shifu.
All right, we've got 1917's character. Are we going to go with Schofield, or would it be funny if we go with Blake?
I reckon if we do Blake,
and who stabs him?
The chicken, Mel Gibson chicken.
And then all of them they stabs him, and then Toothless just eats him.
Oh, we got Toothless coming.
Toothless is quite.
We could have
tame.
Toothless crash into a barn next to him and then get up and stab him.
Toothless with a busted wing.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
Okay, here's the thing with Toothless. Does he get the rider?
No, because that counts as 2 characters.
Okay, so Toothless is on his own.
Which
Shrek, Handsome Shrek, Puss, Poe, Shifu, Rocky.
Does his wings
Blake.
stay broken? Yeah. So he can't fly. Perfect.
Yeah, okay.
Because that could do some goal hanging. If you could fly, you could just hang it's a bowl. So,
Oh, shit, yeah.
You're just a little way above and you're safe from Mel Gibson.
Broken.
And his crazy chickens.
Jesus. Mel Gibson might win this. Are we allowed
What
to
if they
do
form
that?
a chicken triangle and climb up to the dragon?
All right.
Madagascar.
Okay.
I want to put the fucking
Giraffe.
I want to put the zebra in there.
Or the hippo.
The hippo would do bits. I find the zebra a bit annoying in hindsight.
So you just want the zebra to be...
I want Mel Gibson's chicken to fuck up the zebra. Sorry,
it's a shame that we don't have Handsome Donkey, because you feel like some sort of zebra donkey bash. But let's stick with Handsome Shrek.
Stick with Handsome Shrek because I would like to see who
so our
wins
contenders
are Road to El Dorado.
El Dorado. All right. So do we want... I mean, I don't remember their names, and they're not going to do very well.
Let's just say the 2 main guys from
Let's
El Dorado.
Let's give them both El Dorado, and they can be... Yeah, we'll count them as one person.
I'm picturing this being like a stadium-sized bowl. We're not like a huge concave dip, just like enough to be a nuisance.
Well, I think it needs to be kind of packed. Because
what if it closes? We'll do it closes.
Like
in the battle royales, like it'll close in slowly on them.
Great idea. All right, so we've got
it's all mine. I came up with that.
A closing bowl,
and we've got 50 Mel Gibson chickens. We've got 50 fighting Handsome Shrek, fighting Shrek.
All right,
and Shifu.
Shifu, wow, Shifu is gonna mop through those chickens.
Shifu
is gonna absolutely terrorize those chickens.
Is there going to be any cooperation? Like, does Shrek and Handsome Shrek work together?
Well, obviously the chickens are probably going to work together.
Yeah. If it's from the same film, but would Shifu and Poe have to fight at the beginning, or would they form an alliance?
I think that if they formed an alliance, they would be pretty deadly.
It would be a problem. No alliance is formed.
Shrek and Handsome Shrek.
Yeah, would they even form an alliance?
No, I think Shrek is like, I can't believe everything I aspire to be.
Oh.
And he would beat him to a pulp.
The aggression would get the best of him.
They'd be saying, just chuck him out. Let him live.
Oh, yeah.
And Shrek has just got his hand.
Blood everywhere.
He's like saucepan. It's like dustbin lid hand on the back of the Handsome Shrek's head. And then he's just walloping him.
He's found the curb.
He's just trying to hit through his head.
Okay, so Handsome Shrek's out.
Handsome Shrek. Well, one sec. All right.
No, Handsome Shrek's dead. That's it, mate.
I know, but I want to
just killed him.
I think we should actually just confirm exactly who we've got in. So we've got Shrek, Handsome Shrek, Puss, Toothless, Zebra from Madagascar, Poe, Shifu, Rocky plus 49 chickens, Blake from 1917, El Dorado duo. Have we missed any of the Roz
from The Wild Robot?
Toothless has a broken wing.
Yeah, so Toothless has got bloody... Toothless is going to be good at the beginning.
Doesn't he have that like...
He can fire like a fireball thing.
Yeah, he's got some weird sonic thing or whatever it is.
So someone's going to have to rush him quick. I mean, maybe this could be... Maybe an alliance does form to take out...
But here's what I'm thinking. Toothless, without a wing, was pretty well handled by a virgin boy.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he obviously didn't fight him, but he wasn't really a threat to him.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's
Toothless doesn't have like this is going to sound like a terrible pun, but he doesn't have bite to him as a person. Like
sure.
he would be a bit pathetic. But okay, let's say stadium-sized bowl, right? How quick is it closing? It takes 5 minutes. It's a quick close because I reckon Toothless.
We got about however much we can judge how long this is based on the timer. Okay, so and that's everyone. Are there any other films that we missed?
No, that's all of them. Unless Puss in Boots 2, actually.
Puss in Boots 2.
But I didn't watch Puss in Boots 2.
Oh my god!
So you're gonna have to decide him pretty quickly.
I'll give you a bit of a rundown on Death when we get to him. But Death is gonna be difficult.
Is it safe to say that Handsome Shrek's out of the way? He's been Shrek's come from the other end of the. He's had his eye on him since the start.
Here's the rundown.
He saw the posters on the street.
Yeah, here's the rundown. I reckon
he put Handsome Shrek's name down for this.
We're doing a stadium, right, where they all come in from different corners slash entrances, and the bowl is almost the size of the arena floor.
Correct.
And they all enter at one point. Handsome Shrek is opposite to Shrek.
Yep.
Lock eyes, a look of deep fear.
Handsome Shrek's avoiding his gaze. He's looking around like...
Handsome Shrek.
Oh, this is a nice barrier.
No, Handsome Shrek catches his eye, sees this deep-rooted hatred.
Can you imagine?
Tries to look away. Chances another glance, and Shrek has closed the distance by half.
The bell's not even gone
sprinting.
Yet. The bell's not even. And as the ref, I'm allowing it. I want to see this happen right now.
You hear the initial reverberation of the chime, like the ping is coming out, and within 0.25 of a second, you also hear green fist crash into Handsome Nose.
You just hear the crush of flesh and bone. The bell's just going as he's doing it.
The bell's going as Shrek, with his hand on the back of Handsome Shrek's face,
just absolutely more
trying to hit through his head.
Even though you only need to tap out in this. So
Puss comes over.
Okay, Puss
comes over and tries to drag him off.
Oh.
Like, stop, he's dead.
Now it's time for an impression, Fred. What's Puss going to say?
What gives you the right Today, I will repay my debt. Yeah, okay, Puss comes over, tries to pull him off, can't do anything, and realises he has to do something and doesn't want to fight Shrek, but
yes,
maybe the first movement of the bowl.
Oh,
and they realise something's happening here. And there's lava on the floor or something.
We've got no lava yet, but before too much time passes, we need to determine what's happening on other parts of the ring before it starts closing. Because they're all just going to be stood there. Or are they just going to stand there watching?
Let's say
you would bide your time. You would, if it were me and I came into that ring, I would just wait a second to see what happened with everyone else and start on the defense.
I think the El Dorado lads for certain are staying a bit back.
Yeah. Well, the chickens are just going fucking everywhere. They're not cooperating at all. They're just evenly spread everywhere.
Here's how I see it, actually. We have Rocky, the stop-motion clay chicken from Chicken Run, with 49 real chickens who are just wandering about clucking.
No, I'm taking it back. We're doing 50 Mel Gibson chickens.
Okay, 50 Mel Gibson. 50, you want,
but I don't
just
think
Rocky.
I think they're gonna just go full aggression. To be completely honest with you,
well, they got numbers, so maybe they fire. Maybe they throw a few out at the zebra.
Yeah.
So zebra.
Oh yeah, the zebra. I want to see to him what's going on with the zebra.
Was the zebra like uncouth and not coordinated? Could he fall off?
Actually, from Madagascar 1, relatively normal. But doesn't he join a circus in one of the later ones and does some pretty incredible things in that?
I think I'm thinking of Handsome Donkey, who struggled on his feet.
He did. Okay, so he's not uncoordinated. So he's just regular zebra strength.
What's
So 50 chickens versus a zebra. We could send him that way.
What's Blake doing at this point? Reading a map?
He's probably just crying in the corner.
Crying and reading maps.
He's probably
just sat down on the bowl being like, this is a nice bowl.
This is a bloody big building.
Wow, look at this bowl. All right, so Blake, all right, there are people in imminent danger.
I think that Poe's after Blake. I think Poe's seen Blake and he's like...
You reckon Poe goes for Blake? All right, so
Poe's in a bit of a mood today.
Maybe Poe goes like... Master Shifu! And decides like, I got this one for you. You don't need to worry yourself. They know that he's a threat.
I've got a thought.
Or maybe Shifu, how about this? Shifu goes to Poe. We need to sort something out here. We need to take out some threats. And Poe decides in his eminent wisdom to run after the man who has absolutely no threat whatsoever, Blake.
I've got it.
Go on.
Poe sees Shifu as a threat.
Do you reckon
turns out Shifu thinks that they're going to cooperate. Poe just comes out like an idiot and just immediately sees the first person next to him, panics and just fucking goes for him. And we have a Shifu Poe fight.
Here's what I'm thinking though. I think it's more likely that happens the other way. I think Shifu's more devious, isn't he? He's more dastardly.
And he knows, Shifu would surely Shifu would beat him. Because Shifu trained him.
I think that Poe would have main character plot armor.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if we're going true to character, Shifu would be wiping the floor with him, and then Poe would have some sort of food-related epiphany and kick him into oblivion.
All right, yeah, go on then. So Shifu's out. So let's just confirm.
So then. Shifu's out by his mentee.
So Shifu comes out and he thinks that Poe's going to be the main threat, so he goes straight for him. Poe doesn't even see it coming, and then Poe just turns around and gets beaten the crap out of for a good 30 seconds. And then something about him being fat means that he wins.
Okay,
that's the end of that fight. Shifu's dead.
All right, so there's going to be a scene where there's going to be a moment where Death really shows how strong he is. And how it's going to happen is someone else is going to mop someone up, and then we're all thinking, oh my God, this person is absolutely crazy. How are we supposed to deal with this? That's what everyone's thinking.
Yeah.
And then Death just cuts him to shreds.
Okay.
So here's what I'm thinking. Toothless. Or no, here's what I'm thinking. Actually, Blake has a gun.
Yeah, I reckon we give Blake a gun. Maybe because it's just not fair.
Maybe
otherwise.
Blake shoots the zebra because he thinks because he's hungry.
Yes, because he thinks it's a cow.
Because he's never seen a zebra before. He thinks it's a cow.
It's a funny looking cow.
He always shoots cows.
They love shooting cows.
Known for shooting. All right, so
Blake shoots the zebra to begin.
So
because he thinks he's going to be the main threat.
If I remember this correctly, all right. So Shrek beeline for handsome Shrek, beats him to a pulp. Puss in Boots runs over. He's stopping Shrek.
We paused
El Dorado are like, what's going on? Let's just hide in the corner.
Defensive.
Roz undecided. We'll need to work out what Roz is doing. Poe and Shifu, they maybe have a little bit whether you think they're lying, and then Shifu decides Poe's the biggest threat, goes after him.
They're fighting whilst the Shrek fight's going on.
They're in a fight that's going to last a bit of time. Then the chickens run after the zebra.
Yep.
As they're running after the zebra, Blake shoots it.
The zebra. Let's say they're next to each other on the ring, and Blake just turns to the zebra next to him.
So there's fights breaking out, and then you just hear this like,
yeah. Oh,
zebra down.
Everything goes quiet.
How
many of these guys have seen guns before? Probably not many.
Not many. El Dorado know what's up, though. They're aware of guns.
I think even if you've seen a gun, you'd jump a little bit if the...
Yeah, for sure.
So let's say a little moment, a little quiet as we see the zebra hit the decks.
So
the chickens continue attacking the zebra.
So
even though
the chickens go wild. They're the only ones who've seen guns. They've seen guns.
They go to take the gun off of him. We need that weapon.
The chickens go absolutely crackers and start flying everywhere.
So Zebra's
Rocky's
dead.
trying to keep control. It's absolute pandemonium. Blake's just going like, "You want some? I'll shoot you."
Ross is trying to fucking help someone.
And then next thing you know, you just hear shing.
Ooh.
And Blake's like, and then like in an anime, you see like a line form vertically down the top of his head downwards. You see a line, and then he just splits in two, and then behind him is Death
From Puss in Boots.
And what Death has, I don't know how to describe them, but they're like two like cutlasses.
Okay.
So, no, it's, you know how Death has his what's it called, like the
scythe.
Scythe, yeah,
Or the sickle.
yeah, something like that.
I think scythe is the big one.
I believe it's a scythe, right? He's got his big scythe. In Puss in Boots, Death is a wolf.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like, you're afraid of the big bad wolf. He whistles.
Ooh.
Horrifying, like eerie whistling when he's about to take someone down. And then his scythe is more like two blades. So he's a double wielder.
Sick.
So he would just be in like a pose. And it would be shadowed out red eyes. Yeah. And then you just hear the whistling. So then everyone's
Blake's
like, holy shit, Blake has been cut in two.
Everyone notices this at this point.
And what we'll just say is that, like,
this is immediately following this is during the silence of the gunshot.
yeah, silence of the gunshot, everyone's turned over, and then
They just see Blake just fall into two directions.
two directions.
And a wolf behind him.
And he also stabs him in the belly a bit, like what happens in...
Right, okay.
Just for
okay, so here's what I'm going to
consistency.
ask you. Can you kill Death for me because I don't know him? How are we going to kill Death?
Yeah, this is a problem. Death, I don't think dies. He has to be pushed
What about
out.
if Toothless just firebolts him from across the room? He's not doing anything at the minute.
Okay, Toothless not
Toothless
doing anything.
panics.
I think Toothless is the only one he has to save the day and get Death, because Death is too much of a problem. So,
And I reckon that fireball has some power to it.
Roz is like
Maybe
really
a little bit of
powerful.
cooperation. Maybe.
I think, yeah, we got to do...
Roz has to help Toothless.
Roz doesn't like Death, does she?
Yeah.
So Roz is getting her maternal flares. Roz comes in now.
And you're not supposed to cause him. There was a whole thing about how it's not in her coding to cause harm to others or something.
So here's what Roz does. Roz, like, almost like an early warning detection system goes off. Mm-hmm. Roz flies over, like wheels,
Yeah.
over to Death.
But like a deer.
Yes,
because.
okay. A deer, like she gallops over.
Yep. Because that's what Roz would do.
Yeah. Gets there, and these guys go at it, and we're talking like Death with his size, ching, ching, ching.
Okay.
Roz with all her little gadgets and gizmos and extendable arms and limbs and head.
Does she have a laser cannon gun?
Laser
thing on her?
gun.
I think she might do.
So yeah, they're fighting, and she's like firing off lasers.
Yeah.
And he's like, phew, 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 phew. All right, all of this going off.
Everyone's watching. Even Shrek's still got Handsome Shrek's head in his hand, but he's paused watching this go down because he's immediately following.
This could be at the point where Poe turns the tide on Shifu. So maybe Shifu had Poe in a stupid position. Like maybe he had the woohoo finger hold.
Yeah.
Oh, you know this hold. Yeah, maybe he's got him like that, and he's getting distracted by this thing going on.
And then Poe just smashes his
farts.
head. Oh, okay.
Poe farts and was like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah.
And then Poe just stands up and does like a belly, like, boom.
And I tell you what, in the name of keeping Poe, a good character, he's just going to hit Shifu
Flies him
out
off.
of the Battle Royale. And that's him. That's Shifu out the game.
That's Shifu done. So what we have now
Poe's
is
still in defensive mode.
Shrek and Puss are still, they're not really fighting, but they've probably been distracted by this. Handsome Shrek is dead.
Yes.
And has been taken out of the circle. I imagine the circle's closed at this point.
The circle is just about to. It doesn't do it consistently. It just randomly goes in by like 20 yards.
Okay, so Shrek,
and you've all got 5 seconds to get back in.
So Shrek and Puss, we have Blake dead. We've got Poe, Puss, Shrek, Roz, Eldorado, Death, Rocky, and about, would you say about, are we still saying 49 chickens? Some of them will have just fallen
These are
off.
all Rocky. These are all 50 Mel Gibson chickens.
They're all Rocky.
They're all Mel Gibson.
Okay,
Yeah.
50 Rockies.
I want 50 of the world's sexiest man.
Oh, man. The original world's sexiest man.
But as a chicken.
All right, so I'm thinking that Eldorado realise we need to be seen to be doing something at this point. Otherwise, someone will target us as easy targets. Mm-hmm. So they're going to go after Rocky.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to just run over with their... So they, in Eldorado, they're kind of like gamblers and sleazy, aren't they? They're a bit tricksters.
Yeah.
So they're going to be trickstering their way over.
Yep.
Doing like 3-card Monty tricks, confusing chickens.
But all the same... pretty regular men. So what we're saying is 2 regular men against 50 chickens. Who's going to win? I'm going to go out here and say if it's full aggression, if the chickens are just going all out and the men are going all out, I reckon the chickens could take it.
I think the chickens
get overwhelmed quite
completely
quickly.
Overwhelm them. But we do take some chickens out.
I reckon they managed to break a few necks with a couple kicks before it gets carried away.
But I'd say...
I reckon we're down to 45 chickens.
I was going to say like 40, but I reckon let's give them benefit of the doubt and say that they get 5 chickens each.
Oh,
and
right,
that's
chickens
a good
each.
shift.
Because you get a good kick.
Some of it will just be like just shoveling them out as they're hitting them. They're getting overwhelmed. 25 chickens each per man.
Bit of collateral damage maybe from one of the fights going on elsewhere.
So we've got 40 chickens.
Oh, I tell you what could actually happen on the... but these guys are dead now. I'm just thinking Blake's gun is still in action.
Okay, Blake's gun's still there.
Poe could go get it.
Maybe.
So we've killed the Eldorado guys.
Maybe what Death does is when he slices him in two, he just kicks his gun away, but he kicks it more central. So the gun's still in play.
Yeah, I'm picturing the fight with the chickens and the Eldorado being roughly central in my head.
Okay, so you're thinking maybe Eldorado
could pick up a gun, which might be how they managed to take out a couple. Maybe that's how they managed to take out a few chickens. Bit of collapse through them, and then
I'm thinking we hold fire on. I've got an idea for the gun later.
Yeah, okay, but the Eldorado guys still die, but the gun ends up in the middle. They use it for a couple shots to take out a couple chickens, but they still get overrun. They still die.
Okay.
Guns in the middle. The 50 chickens are in hyper aggression mode.
So what we've got here is
Pirano.
Shrek and Puss, and they probably are potentially cooperative, but they're just seeing what's playing out. And what's happened is Poe has got rid of Shifu. Roz has flown over to deal with Death, and 40 Rockies are in the middle of the field
looking for their next target, and they see Toothless on its own.
Toothless is still in play as well, of course, and there is a missing gun.
Yeah, which is currently underneath the chickens.
Underneath.
Once
the
they
chickens.
go and attack Toothless, that's it. The gun's on show, and everybody is now fighting. Because we've got Toothless and chickens, we got Shrek and Puss.
Shrek and Puss.
What's Poe up to?
Poe, I think that Death starts turning the tide against Roz. Death is so he's absolutely. So Roz she's putting a good shift, but Death is like coming for her.
Yep.
And then
that seems fair to me. Roz isn't a combat thing.
No, but she's like purely on maternal instinct, and then Poe joins the fray, teams up with Roz, because he's like, we need to get this guy. This guy is dangerous.
Yep.
So we've got Poe and Roz double teaming Death. Lots of bish bash bish.
Yep.
Death is still looking pretty strong, but then Roz sees Bright Bill in the crowd.
What, and gets more angry?
Gets like her heart goes.
Yeah, okay.
Her heart goes, and Bright Bill is eating a hot dog, and Poe gets that fuzzy feeling as well.
Yeah, okay.
And then they like an anime where two people combine for that final punch. They coordinate attack.
Knock him out of the ring.
And they hit him.
Yeah, I feel like it's not like a convincing beat, but they just get him out the ring.
And all right, how about this? He flies out. As he flies out, he lets go of one of his sickles.
Okay.
So it flings it. No, goes backwards. decapitates Bright Bill
and
slices through the hot dog.
Oh.
No!
Yes.
Poe and Roz hit their
Roz turns into Choz. Which is a completely different robot. He has a really fucking angry.
Choz is super aggressive.
Choz is on something.
All right, so Choz and Poe is equally upset because of the hot dog being.
Poe turns into Boo.
I was literally going to make that joke. Like, that's so rubbish. I'm not going to say. No reason to say that. All right, so Poe and Choz turn to each other and are like, all right, so two options here. They either team up or they go out.
They both just Oh, you mean after the wolf is gone? I think they both need to catch their breath a little bit. Well, actually, Roz doesn't need to.
Roz has just seen her child get...
full rampage mode.
Yeah, so it's rampage mode.
Whereas Poe probably wouldn't still be in full rampage mode because it was just a hot dog. There are lots of food, even if he loves food. So I reckon Poe's... And he's also human. Well, no, he's not human. He's a panda. And he needs to catch his breath. So I reckon Choz still in Choz mode. Kung Fu Panda, Poe, just catching his breath, taking a second.
Okay. So
Roz just fucking nails him in the head. And that's the end of Poe.
Yeah. No. What about because it's concave, this bowl, right?
Yeah.
So she nails him, and his flubber he bounces off. He's bouncing in between.
Okay, he loses control.
Like he does in his training montage when he first becomes part of the Furious Five.
Yeah,
where he's like, wing, 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 wing. That's what's happening. He's going all over the place, taking out a lot of chickens.
Control.
Lots of chickens taken out.
Okay, how many?
Well, how many are we on?
Let's go 40. For another even 10.
Okay, so we've got 30 chickens.
Yep.
30 chickens.
Oh, and Death is now dead.
Now, I'm thinking...
How much damage have we done to Poe at this point?
Poe doesn't really feel damage. He's just flinging about.
Yeah. All right, very quickly, we are at 20 to 11. So let's just figure out how to wrap this thing up.
Wrap this up. This is too many.
All right, the ring closes into a 5 meter diameter.
Ring closes. All right, we're down to...
everyone just has to get in.
We're down to 5 chickens.
No, 30 chickens in a little ring.
All right.
With Roz.
30 chickens in a little ring.
With Choz.
No, the worst one for this is Puss. Because Puss
is good close combat.
Puss starts... No, I mean, chicken-wise, he is absolutely...
He's going to tear into shreds.
He is taking out chickens.
I reckon Poe gets knocked out of the ring just by him being bouncy. And he's just out.
Poe bounces out. As he bounces, he takes out... Toothless starts to try and fly up. Broken wing, but it's like up and down, like a chicken trying to fly.
Yep.
But he's avoiding any danger, flying up until a supercharged, overweight panda careens into his face, hits him out, and he lands on the floor. He's out of bounds.
Both of them out.
Excellent.
I reckon
so I'm
kind of happy that Toothless doesn't get brutally murdered as well.
We've got Shrek. We've got Puss. We've got Roz. We've got, let's say, 20 chickens.
Puss just goes straight for the chickens. Shrek absolutely handles Roz.
Shrek versus Roz. Okay, Puss is taking out some chickens.
I reckon Puss would just the chickens are gone, mate. The chickens don't stand a chance against Puss.
Okay, so Shrek. Well, bear in mind Roz is going a bit wild, but she has never seen an ogre before, so she's pulling from her data store. She's a gazelle. She's a bear. She's a hedgehog. She's a rabbit. She's trying to use all of these different techniques, and then she's hitting him, but then Shrek just grabs her face. No, he grabs her by the waist. Okay. And then he just crushes. She's got her heart thing inside her. Oh. He just goes it's like a big baguette. And he just goes...
Okay, like when you crush a tin can. When you stand on one.
He just goes like that and goes...
All right, yeah.
And she has no support for the top of her body as her heart's been imploded, and she just flings off, and then Shrek's battered and bruised because she's been tracking him about. Then he He just dumps her outside the ring, which is now 2 meters away.
Yeah, perfect.
So-
and we are left with
In this time,
Puss.
Puss has taken out 19 chickens, but we have a Mexican standoff with original Rocky
Yep.
has Puss chokehold, gun to the head.
Oh, the gun's back.
Gun's back.
The
Original
gun.
Rocky nicked it.
The gun. Okay.
He's been hiding whilst his comrades have just been getting
tactical.
torn asunder by Puss, and he waited for his moment.
Oh.
Maybe it was a moment. Maybe Puss turned when he saw that Shrek had crushed Roz, and then he's behind him, gun to his head.
So, Shrek.
I think Chicken Rocky knows that even with a gun, his chances against Shrek
Pretty slim.
are.
He'd probably point the gun at Shrek. That's what I would do in his position.
So
Just take a shot at Shrek and see if he could.
I think he might more
then
likely
Puss
be
will kill
like,
him.
just walk out. Just don't do it, man. Walk out.
Oh.
Don't
What would
do
Shrek
it,
do?
man. Okay. Shrek, we need what's Shrek's character arc here? How can we find a way?
How desperately? What's the prize? How desperately does Shrek want to win this? Is it really worth letting someone die for? I mean, people clearly desperately wanted to win this thing, so they were willing to murder
Yeah,
for it.
okay. So maybe it's to get his swamp back.
That's
all he
so
wants, really.
good.
Like, he wants his swamp back. And everyone else has their own thing. And Puss gets his extra life.
So
he gets his 9 lives back.
So Shrek is in the position, though, where... No, Puss doesn't get his 9 lives back. He's got to choose. Does he want his swamp, or is he going to let Puss die and have his swamp?
I think what
or
Puss,
no swamp and let Puss live?
I think what Puss does is Puss comes to a realization that it's about living in the moment. It's not about having just a limitless amount of lives. So he gets his claws out and goes, tries to stab behind him, tries to get Rocky. Rocky panics. He wasn't planning to kill. He was planning to just persuade
tactically.
Shrek out. And Shrek was walking out, but Puss knows this is for Shrek's swamp. So he tries to turn the table and Rocky shoots Puss in the head.
Perfect. So now Shrek doesn't have a decision to make.
No, Shrek turns round.
Shrek charges him. How far away are they? I said 5 meter diameter. So they're close.
They're the size of this.
Shrek could close the distance quick enough before he can reload that old thing. This is a World War I gun.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's like a rifle, isn't it?
So I'm not really sure how the chicken's going to hold
how
him.
he has him in the position.
I'm not sure how he's going to hold him, but you know what? Sod it. He's got it anyway.
Okay.
He tries to train the gun on Shrek, but Shrek just closes the gap too quickly. Just fucking stamps on him. Game over. Shrek wins.
Yeah.
He's the victor. He gets his swamp back.
Shrek throws the gun out. The chicken tries to just jump out.
Yeah.
Shrek grabs him, breaks both of his wings,
Yep.
breaks his legs,
Yep.
and then he goes,
taking
I
out
don't
his
even
feathers.
want my swamp. And then just steps out. Steps out of the ring just with a broken chicken
Still alive in his hands.
and then I don't even want my swamp. Steps out of the ring, takes the chicken with him, and then just eats it.
Yes, that's an ogre thing to do. Right. That is how, if the DreamWorks characters, if these specific DreamWorks characters
In a Royal
were put in a
Rumble,
stadium-sized bowl,
which is a stadium-sized
that
bowl.
closed whenever we needed it to. We pulled a bit of an alien Romulus there. All right, thank you so much for listening. We will see you on the next one.
Yeah, nice.